Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Is the August 9th? No, I'm sorry, wrong date.
11th.
The 11th. It's the August 11th meeting of the Wareham Sewer Commissioners. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Sandy Slavin.
Here.
Malcolm.
Present.
Peter Dunlop.
Right, present.
Jim Gibberti, all present. Roll call done, that's done. We have minutes from the June 9th meeting.
I have reviewed them, Chair, and we have one amendment on the section calling to Robinwood Road update. It says it's been approved for 300 gallons per day. It should be 3,000. We need an extra 0. Other than that, the minutes are in order.
Hey, could I have a motion to accept the minutes with the amendment?
I'll second that.
That's a motion for you.
The motion? I'll make
Yeah.
a motion, we accept it.
Okay, do I have a
With-
second?
As amended.
Right,
Second.
and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4-0-0. See, on the page here. Got Q updates. Guy, would you go over that discussion we had the other day on Qs, just so everybody's aware of how, what, where, and why? You've got right here with the examples.
Mr. Chairman, in the packet, you have examples of what the building permit process is. So what we've been doing as gallons become available is we go to that list, which is in the government program that the town has, of all building permits. And building permits that have applied for increase of flow through a bedroom, that's where I'm grabbing any available gallons that become available and applying it to that list of approved or people that are at the building permit process. Nothing else. And I want to emphasize that we don't add any flow, 0 flow to our present flow. When something becomes available, as an example, if flow was at one time a gallon and now it's a half gallon, there's a half gallon available. That half gallon is applied to get back to the gallon, and there's no increase of flow. And that's pretty much what we're doing. There's no per se queue, as we had before, a list of projects that were sent into the queue that one day we'd approve or leave in the queue. So I think queue, whether it's the right definition or not, I don't know, but that's what we're using, or so-called queue.
Have we had any requests for additional flow?
We had a request last meeting for the car wash in West Wareham. That's new flow.
That's new additional.
So that hasn't been approved, so there's nothing for it. But as far as the building permits, there's
Well, my
tons
question,
of
I'm
building
sorry,
permits.
excuse me, Guy.
Right.
My question on that is that where he's had indicated a requirement, are we establishing him as number one in a queue for ones to be given consideration if and when we get flow available?
I'm not giving anybody consideration unless they're at building permit.
Okay.
Because we've never established a queue. And I think I've asked before, should we establish a queue? As an example, this car wash, does it go into a queue? If somebody wants to build a house, do they go into the queue? Or if somebody wants to get a new connection, do they go into a queue? We decided not to have a queue, so we really have no queue. What we're doing is only if gallons become available. As an example, the one on Sandwich Road, the 1,300 gallons, I talked to an engineer, he sent a letter, he didn't respond to the letter, I contacted the engineer, he has no intentions of doing that project. So those committed gallons come back to us, that's 1,300 gallons. We don't have a queue per se to apply it to. What I'll do is I'll go to the building list, because in talking with the Board of Health, those folks that are on building permit lists that they can't get flow, they're asking to put septic systems. We don't want septic systems in the middle of downtown Wareham or any other area that's sewered. So we'll redress those and take that 1,300 gallons, address those that are looking for septic permits. But again, we won't increase any flow because those 1,300 gallons are within the already designated pool of committed gallons.
I'm
So-
sorry, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Sandy.
Is there a chance we get a name of the project? We have a project for Tom Knapp for 1,320.
Yeah, that's it,
Is that the one?
on Sandwich Road.
I don't have an address, but I believe it's Sandwich Road. Do we have it in writing that he will not use this?
We sent him a letter, he did not respond. So you want me to put it in writing? I'll put it in writing.
Put it in writing that you contacted him with a registered letter. He
Right.
received it, so we know he's received it. And because he hasn't responded, we now have 1,320 gallons available.
That's correct.
Just like we have the 800 gallons available because of the reduction in the project at the industrial park.
I haven't got there yet because this just became available. I was using that as an example. What I will do
I'm
is
sorry,
solidify it.
I thought you already passed out that 800
No.
gallons.
Oh, the 800, yes, I'm talking about the
Okay,
13.
I'm talking about the 800
that's-
gallons. You've passed that out. Is there a chance you can give us, I'm not going online, a list of those people that you passed out of that 800 gallons to?
Yes, they're on the town website.
I
I'll go get
don't,
them.
can you provide us with a
I'll have
list?
Christiana go dig them up. She's been
I
in
want to,
there.
yeah, I want to know when they applied and when we permitted, how many gallons per day.
Well, there are 110 gallons per day for the single bedrooms, additions of bedrooms.
We had somebody here who needed 40 gallons a day.
You got his, yeah, that was, like,
I- So it isn't just 110 gallons per day per bedroom, it varies. Are any of the...
110 is the most, which is what they average. The 40 was an aberration, but yeah.
I want to know, of the 800, how much has been given out and who got it?
So it was actually 600, not 800, but I'll give you that answer.
Okay? And was it for anything new construction or for just an additional bedroom?
Just the bedrooms, just people that were in the, no new construction, no three-bedroom home, no four-bedroom home, just
So-
folks that were asking to add a bedroom.
Okay, so there is a
So-
construction to add a bedroom, but
That's right.
no brand-new home.
No.
So I would love to know, I would really like to know who we passed out that gallons we got from that manufacturer in the industrial park.
That's correct. So I'll have Christiana dig that up. That's easy.
And so the 1,320 has not been allocated yet.
No, I haven't taken it off. I've done nothing with it. It just became available. So I've done nothing with it.
Yeah,
And so,
I would just like in writing that we've attempted.
yes, we'll do
He
that.
didn't respond, and because of that, we are now taking him out of our list of approved gallons and applying it to somebody else.
Yes, I called his engineer to see if he had heard from him, and he hasn't. So usually you go through the engineers because they're the ones that really are working the projects, and he has not contacted with them, and they said they were done. So that's, and I'll put all that in writing, we'll solidify it, and then at that point, we'll look to utilize those gallons.
And they will be given away to the people who are next in line with an approved building permit for only an additional bedroom.
Correct. They'll-
Not a building permit for a new home,
No,
just a building permit for one more bedroom.
It'll, no, let me just, it'll be the bill, I don't know what building permits are until I review them.
Uh-huh.
But yes, so whatever the building permits are, we'll give away all the people that are presently, and there's a ton of them, looking to add a bedroom. That's where I'll start. If there's any gallons left over, we'll figure out what to do with them. But right now, there are people that want single-family bedrooms. I'm gonna make sure they get them,
Okay.
that want
To
bedroom
figure
additions.
out what's going, okay,
I don't
so if somebody has come in and asked for got a building permit for a brand-new home for 330 gallons, they will be ignored because they're not a single-bedroom update.
So let's be clear.
It would be placed
yes.
further down the list.
So here, let's be clear. If they come in to build a home and there's not a present lateral, they need to get permission to connect, so they can't be on any list.
Okay,
Okay, so we can't consider them. But if somebody already has an existing lateral,
yes.
we'll give them what, because that's already,
We've
that's
already-
right.
yes.
So that's all I'm
I
saying.
believe,
Yeah.
you take a look at the minutes
I get
that we
that, yeah.
just approved. I, for the record, just want to say in here, we have said that more for prior, let's see, only ones allowed to hook up are projects that have already been approved, had prior approval, or a property that has an existing stub.
Yes.
That is what we said in the meeting of June 9th.
Exactly. So what I'm saying to you, if somebody comes to build a house, they have to do the permit, and you have to come here.
I totally understand
That's all.
that,
So
but
we
if
wouldn't
there's
consider 'em.
nothing there,
We wouldn't consider them.
they can't, even with an approved building code. Okay, so the only gallons we are approving are those that are freed up from prior projects that have not been done or reduced in size.
Correct.
Okay, and you're going to give us a list of how what you have approved for release since the moratorium?
Yes, yes, within, yes.
Okay, thank
I think
you,
they came from the industrial park.
thank you.
Okay.
No problem?
Anything else from anybody on that?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Peter.
So, are we setting up a priority of how they're given out?
I did not get that.
I have no priority.
Excuse me?
There is none. Do you want one?
Well, I don't know. I want to
I
know
don't
how
have
we're
one.
deciding where we're giving it out to.
I'm going to go on the approved building permits and go down the list.
So
And-
you're,
and
in
they're
other words, you're,
Single families and go.
so the priority then would be additions. And after those are filled, would new homes be the next in the priority queue?
If new homes, if someone's going to build a new home and it doesn't have a present lateral, they have to come to this board for permission to connect. So I'm not dealing with those. The board will deal with those. If somebody wants to build a new home, as an example, on 2 Stony Run or 504 Main Street, there are 2 existing laterals. He wants to build a home. He's free to do that. It doesn't affect the moratorium because it's previous.
But-
So I want to make sure we're on the same
A
page.
new home only comes after you took care of all the additions.
No,
No.
the new home is already, we already have a lateral. He's free to do what he wants. However, if there's no lateral, a new home can't do anything until he gets permission from the board. So
You're
I-
confusing it.
Well, one second. Peter.
No, I'm confused.
Peter,
You're confusing
yeah,
me.
you guys are talking circles here on me. Basically, what Guy is saying, if it doesn't have a lateral, it doesn't get built. And, wait a minute, and anything given out residential is taking priority if we've got something that comes back that we can give out.
Right.
Once that's given out,
Just a second, please. On residential, it's only additions.
Not if there's a lateral.
well,
Yes.
no, wait, now you-
Pre-existing
stop,
lateral.
stop.
Because
stop.
that should be in
Peter,
our numbers if there's a lateral.
That's right, if the lateral, it doesn't matter.
It's in there.
It's already in there.
That's what I'm saying, it doesn't matter.
If the lateral is in place, the numbers have already been accounted for.
Doesn't matter,
So it doesn't, yeah,
doesn't matter.
so it doesn't make any
Regardless of
difference.
some- Because the lateral.
So it doesn't make any difference if a house goes on there or a pup tent goes on there. Because the gallonage has already been accounted for and it's already in the system and we're already looking at it being utilized.
What happens if it's more than 3 bedrooms?
Then it's gonna have an issue. Or
I
should
don't know,
have,
that's a good question
should have an
because
issue.
Because we normally say your lateral is 330 gallons per day, which are
right.
3 bedrooms.
Correct.
Someone comes along and on the existing lateral puts a house with 6 bedrooms.
it's
They
not-
get it without any,
It's not correct. When we do a project, We analyze what's existing. The engineers put gallons of capacity to that project. There are 4-bedroom houses, there are 5-bedroom houses, there are 2-bedroom houses, and that's all incorporated into that total flow. So I don't have an answer for you, but I do know if somebody's gonna build a home and there's an existing lateral, I'm not gonna be too crazy about, because we have no limitations already
Okay,
present.
so we have
I
nothing
won't-
to restrict the size of a home
Nothing.
going on an existing lateral?
We have, and
That
we talked
answers,
about
that
that, yes.
answers my question.
That's why we wanted a building restriction,
we
and the
don't-
town doesn't want one, but yes,
So
I can't stop.
you got a lateral, you got a new dwelling.
A new dwelling, a residential dwelling.
If you're already on the system and you want to upgrade by a number of bedroom, you must go on the list and be allocated as flow is released.
Right.
Okay. So if I want to put an additional bedroom on, I'm on the top of the priority list. If I want to build a new home, I am second on the priority list if there is an existing lateral.
No, you don't have, you're not on any list. You just go ahead and do it. The lateral's existing. You submit the paperwork, submit the plans, goes to the planning, done deal, we sign off, they move forward. Because it's existing lateral.
Okay, but it would be second to the addition of a bedroom
Second
just
to
being
anything.
added.
It's second to nothing. It's in a whole different category. It's not even nothing to do with the moratorium, other than the fact these are committed gallons already. So, I don't know if you, we've got projects. Rose Point has vacant lots with laterals. Parkwood Beach has vacant lots with laterals. Ruby Antic has vacant lot with laterals. Wherever we did a project, there's vacant lots with laterals. They're able to build on those laterals.
Right, all I'm trying to do is establish some sort of a list.
I get that, but you can't mix apples and oranges for the same list. That's all I'm saying.
Then straighten me out. You tell me the list, how it should go.
The priority, as far as I go to the building permits, and what they're doing is they're adding a bedroom or whatever, and I just go
Now, you
down
said
the list.
building permits.
That's right, that's it.
And I assume that's nothing but additions?
That's what I'm saying, because a new home is a whole different ballgame, yes,
So it's additions,
yes.
okay?
Usually it's a
That's
bedroom.
That's number one. Now,
yes.
what's number two?
There is no number two.
Guy, do we?
I have no number two.
Guy, do we have a list somewhere of the laterals in town that are available, technically available? You
I'm
would
sure
say.
there is. I'd have to create one because it's
Yeah, you
within
don't-
these projects. I'd have to break it all out and get the list of actual laterals that have not been built on.
Because, I
I'd
mean,
have
I
to do a
think
lot of
that's,
research.
I think where Peter's getting confused. If you've got the laterals, you've got X number of locations where we could have X number of building permits come in for those locations, that those houses could be built. They're already included in the system
Right, so
in
we-
accounting.
That's right.
We are dealing with, at the present time, those items that are already in the system that want to increase their usage to the system, and those are the ones that are being allocated as
Need be, as available.
product becomes available.
That's correct.
So
So
on Peter's question, Guy, correct me if I'm wrong. If you satisfied all the residential additions, and we have a new project with no lateral that requires 1,000 gallons, and you have 1,000 gallons, wouldn't that be number two?
No, because they would have to come in front of the board and get permission to connect, and then if you want it to be number two, then you can designate that. But I'm not going to treat it as, I'm not treating it as number two.
I understand that.
So you're just going, after all of the additions are done, the extra bedrooms are added on, whatever else is available, they have to come to us, not to you. Is that basically
I'm-
what you're saying?
What I'm saying is, if, let's say, everything that's in the list today, tomorrow another one may come up. We'll just keep satisfying as they come up. If there's satisfies and there's a lull, then we're doing nothing. Nothing. We're done, we're dead stop. If somebody wants to build a house on a lot and they want to tie to sewer, and somebody else's lateral or whatever, they'd have to come to you folks and say, I'd like to add this new home and add myself to sewer, pay the sewer development fee of $18,000, and then you could say yay, nay, hold on, we've got these gallons we're not doing here, we think we can do this and we'll give you those gallons. That's totally at the discretion of the board. I'm not going to do that because I don't have the authority to create connections. I can
So
only
was
deal with
that a-
connections that are existing.
So was that a yes?
No, it's not in my purview.
Once the additions are satisfied and there's gallons available, they have to come to us to use them.
No, no, what I'll do is I'd continue to wait, so if, let's say we use them, and tomorrow there's no more building permits. If Monday one comes up, we'll satisfy it. If Tuesday one comes up, we'll satisfy it.
All right, so in
So-
other words, you're going to save whatever you have until the building permits come in.
That's right, and we'll just keep utilizing them. If somebody wants to build, and I would have to bring it to the board and say, this person wants to build a coffee shop, and he wants to put it here and tie into the sewer, that's totally your discretion. And because I can't authorize that, you have to authorize that connection.
Yeah, but
And
how
then
can
you
we authorize it if we don't know what you're doing with what gallons are left available?
It doesn't matter. You can, well, I'll tell you what the gallons available, but it doesn't matter because I can't handle that. And the question you're asking me is my priorities. My priorities is just existing buildings, that's it. I'm answering that question. The rest of it, they need permission from you folks. I'm not dealing with that at all. I didn't even gonna enter in my scope. I'm gonna ignore it.
It's as clear as mud.
I think it's pretty clear. I think the muddy part is we're talking apples and oranges. And oranges are your purview.
We have 1,000 gallons available,
Well,
and
Potentially, yes.
10 people came in and want to build, add an additional bedroom. Okay, so what's that use up, 400?
All of it.
All of it.
Just one additional bedroom?
Yes,
just said
110
10.
gallons. So if you got 10, that's greater than what we have, but yeah, all of it.
Okay, then we only build half those bedrooms.
Okay, so we have half left.
Okay, now, you know that, and you're waiting to see if another building permit request comes in. But we don't know that. And if somebody is wanting to build a coffee shop or whatever, and they come before us, is it a case of, oh, you got your paperwork in at 4 o'clock and they didn't get their paperwork in till 5 o'clock, so you lose?
If two people come for coffee shops?
No. If somebody comes in to wants to do the coffee shop before you get another request for a building permit, can we give it to the coffee shop?
That's your purview, because they would have to present here and say, XYZ coffee shop wants to do this. You have 500 gallons left in your, which we haven't used yet. You can
So
give
we
it
can
all
use
to
it.
this,
And
and
use it?
if you use it,
So
yeah.
then come Monday morning, when somebody comes in with a permit, you have to say no.
I say no, we don't have any available gallons.
Okay, so how are we gonna know this?
When
I
they,
believe we need notification as you release each gallon.
yeah, we can do that
An email.
We can do that through meetings, whatever you want.
No, an email. On such and such a day, I gave 300 gallons to this address.
I will try to set some time aside to update you regularly. I can't promise you every day, because things are crazy all day. What I'm saying to you is, no matter what, if XYZ coffee shop comes to tie in, you're gonna need to know the gallons before you can do anything. So you'll always know the gallons, maybe not every minute, but you'll know. You can't make a decision on an unknown.
XYZ coffee shop comes in, that's gonna be an item that comes before
On the
us at
agenda.
a meeting.
Yes.
That's not gonna be an email
No, when they,
request.
Come up, but we should use the queue.
That-
Find a project that
Exactly. I mean,
it's up to you.
that number
I
of
think
gallons.
we need to do, we need
Take it in
to,
order from there.
That's
we
up
need
to
to
you.
establish something.
That was the
because
whole
right now-
idea of that.
Exactly. I don't disagree with it, Mac. That's exactly what we're looking
We
at.
don't
We're not
have a
doing
queue.
that yet. We don't have, we didn't affect that last time around,
Well,
and we should do.
the thing that bothers me about it is that while I totally understand the way Guy wants to give out the gallons, and I have no problem with that, except that if somebody wants to build, come before us and the gallons are available, they have to wait 2 weeks till we have another meeting. In that meantime, he conceivably could have given away the gallonage that we're going to want. That, How do we deal with that? That's basically what I'm trying to say.
That's a good point.
I don't know. Weekly meetings? I don't know. I don't know. Emergency meetings?
That's why
Because no matter what,
this new system
none
has
of
gotta
you
be,
can make that decision.
do something.
Guy, what is your process when you approve a release of gallons? What do you do? What paper
Click a
do you?
button.
You click a button, and
That's
what
it.
does that button do?
It tells the person that has applied for this permit that he's free to do his project.
Okay,
Click,
it's
it's
not
gone.
an email.
No. I go on, they pop up on my screen. Oh, 110, okay.
So it's a building
Go ahead.
permit.
Yes, oh, we have it, great, click, it's done. That's it. So I can update you, but that's the process. They come up, it's every day I get permits. Some I don't deal with because they're asking for a deck or whatever, so I don't deal with them. But every day, building permits are processed, every day, that's all, so yes.
That part's all fine, guys.
Yeah, so I just hit a button.
But, do you see my point?
I
That
do.
it's- Well,
But
so
there's nothing-
there's got to be some way that it's fair to these people that are waiting, that, you know, you say you're going to do it strictly by building permit. Well, they can't get the building permit because they haven't been allocated the gallonage.
I don't buy that. According to Nazi, that's not true for zoning. I think, but to your point, most people don't want to invest the money until they have some guarantees. So I get that. Well, no, I don't, but I get what you're saying. So if you want a guarantee, if somebody's got to apply. If they apply, the letter says they want X, Y, Z, and it's available, then if you want an email, I can give you an email, and you can say, we'll have a meeting. I don't know. If I get 3 in one day, how are you going to decide which one gets it?
No.
Are you going to flip a coin? No, you're going to have a queue. They come in on a queue, and then you meet
The last
and give out
meeting.
accordingly.
We addressed that at the last meeting. The guy wanted a guarantee, and I said, no,
No guarantees, but you
No
need a queue.
guarantees.
You need a queue.
I'm not going there.
No.
Because this isn't about who you know, this is about who gets in line. It's fair and equal across the board. It's like, well, I like this guy, I don't like this guy, because that's what's going to happen if we have no queue.
I agree.
Yeah, I'll hold this, I'll tell you, but so we have a queue. You come in, you get on the queue, we just keep building the queue. As gallons, you go down your queue. If there's nothing available, you say, guy, go to the queue. What's in the queue? That's something you got to establish. But this board decided not to have a queue.
Well, under everything that's been brought up so far, maybe we need to establish a queue that's going to work for all of the gallonage, not just the flips the way we're talking about right now. That if we have gallonage come in, that goes on that queue, and the ones that need it go on this queue to be allocated, and in order that would get allocated out of there. So we'd have a rolling total, decreasing amount of, decreasing amount of gallonage available to be able to give out against the requests.
And Mr. Chairman, if I'm in the queue for 3,000 gallons and 100 comes available, you're skipping over me.
Absolutely.
So that's just the nature of the beast. It isn't like because I'm next in line. If there's only a minimum amount available, you go down the list, you don't say, well, I'm waiting to get to 3 for X, Y, Z. You can't do that. So that's got to be understood also.
But if the one for 3,000 is in there and he does get skipped over, he's still going to get his then when and if we do have gallonage
Absolutely.
of that quantity available.
Absolutely.
Before the guy that's looking for the 1,800.
Absolutely. No, I
the
agree
other,
with you.
if we have the queue established to do that.
Because you go back up, but if somebody.
Right, but I
Again,
mean,
yes,
what I'm
yes, I agree.
suggesting
I
is
agree.
we have the queue, everybody goes in the queue, and then the queue gets acted upon based on what we have available in an order we have. Does that make
No.
sense? No?
Sure, it's
Mac?
going to be based on what's available, but it should be based on the day they ask for it.
He asked for 3,000 today, we've got 200 available, what do you want to do?
You say no to that person at
Okay,
this
and the
time.
guy comes in tomorrow and he wants 50. What do you say to him?
Well, the trouble is you have to say yes to him, but the fellow that's looking for the 2, I mean, he could argue that, okay, I'll wait until 8 more becomes available, and I'm still at the head of the list. But you're gonna then say no to all of these people that want a lower one. I grant you, that's what you have to do to satisfy the people, but it's not quite fair.
No, there's nothing's fair. Remember, you're in America, it's not fair.
There's got to be some in-between here someplace.
I don't know.
I mean, if I want to build a four-bedroom house, it seems like I should be able to build a four-bedroom house rather than you give four people that want to put on one bedroom each their allocation. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Okay? There's got to be a way for this to work.
Mac?
Can we take this into executive session? in the
Yes.
future?
I think we will.
Warn it properly? No decisions can be made, but we need to discuss this among ourselves.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I don't know with executive session criteria, just make sure it's criteria. I thought there was money, litigations, whatever. I'm not an expert, find out, but you may just want to have two people discuss it in whatever, but
Yeah,
I would make
I
sure
will- I will-
we're legal.
We'll look into that,
We
and
need to be clear on this.
Because I don't know.
let's put it on a hold. Let's postpone this till the next meeting and see what we can come up with in between. Have
Because
an
I do
answer.
see the confusion, Peter.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
it's not
I'm pushing it
confusion, it's
aside.
Confusion. That's both.
There's no, EDU's unfair, but we have that system. Life isn't fair, and I get what you're saying, Peter, I truly do. But there's sometimes what happens, you get customers that have an increased family, they want to add a bedroom. There are customers, have been for many years. So they go to the building department, they ask for that addition, if it's available, I give it away, no question, no concern. What you're adding to the table, I get. But what I've been doing is what's in,
Oh, I understand
and
that.
I believe
and I-
that's
I-
moving forward, so that's what I've been
I
doing.
just think that, what if I have a two-bedroom house, okay? And now we have twins. And I'm gonna tear this house down and build a bigger house that's got four bedrooms. Where am I gonna fall on this list?
So presently, if they tear a house down and rebuild, they're going to do the exact same bedrooms.
Yeah, but because
but
it's a
it-
new house, it's not just a case of me running down to the building department and pulling a permit.
It is.
As I could, no, it isn't.
It is.
No, because I have to get the whole thing engineered and all sorts of stuff.
No, I get it.
But the point is that if I go to the building department just to add a bedroom, I can do that in a day. If I'm gonna tear down a two-bedroom and put up a fair bedroom, I can't do that and get a permit in the same day.
Well, I can't speak to the same day, but we're doing them now, and
But
we're
still,
saying,
even if it's a week, you have given out those four bedrooms.
no, if you have an existing three, you have three bedrooms, I'm telling you, rebuild a three-bedroom, that's it.
He's
No.
saying he's two, he wants four.
I get
He
it.
has a lateral. You already have a lateral, so go
Yes.
for it.
Okay, but the fact
No.
is that I'm tearing down a house and putting up a new one. It isn't as quickly as
No,
as
it's-
getting
No,
an addition.
But the lateral exists, so I got the impression that if you got a lateral, go for it.
The lateral is because it exists, but you exist in a two-bedroom. A lateral that's
Come
built...
on, wait. When you got a lateral
Mm-hmm.
that hasn't been used,
That's right.
No, it is.
no, sorry, another,
Yes.
if it hasn't been used, can you tell me if that's been allocated for 2, 4, or
Sorta.
6
I can't.
bedrooms?
Understand
You
what you're
can't.
doing, but- That's right.
Therefore, going
But-
from 2 to
We're getting
4 with an
confused on
existing
that.
But it
lateral.
has an allocation of
We're in
two.
a circle.
So we have a known.
No, I'm not,
They're
I
talking
got a
about
brand
Peter's
new,
scenario.
I'm not, here's the question. I have a lateral,
It's never been built on.
and it's never been built on.
That's right.
I can make that house as big as my lot will
Pretty
allow
much,
it.
Because, that's
Don't
right.
say pretty much, the
Yes.
answer is yes.
Yes, because there
Now,
are no
when he wants to
restrictions.
go from a home with 2 to a home for 4 on existing lateral, he
Can't.
doesn't,
Because he already has an existing two, which is a known.
okay, it's because of what you got.
It's an
As
existing
opposed-
known, yes. The unknown,
I think I got that one.
yeah, because what happens is when we do, again, when we do a development, we don't say each home, we calculate every home that's existing, 5, 4, whatever, and then there's no delineation. I can't delineate. I don't know what, I just get a total number. So I can't tell you what and what not to do. I didn't know if that lot was going to be a 4, I have no idea.
Okay.
So I can't restrict what I don't know. But what I do know is what I can do. Facts are facts. I can deal with facts. So, yeah, it does. And I get it, because I deal with this every single day. And that's why people are saying, hell with it, I'm going to put septic systems. And they can't, But they can't, and that's the, now it creates a whole different set of, I don't blame anybody.
Through hell. No wonder they don't pull a permit.
So, let me, and I'll be a devil's guy for a minute. In 2005, we were told that 2022 would have no capacity. So is it Mr. Jones's fault? No, because he had no control of the thing. We knew, this is not a mystery. We knew that we're getting to this point. We knew. It wasn't a mystery. So I get it, and I get Mr. Jones's frustration. But the bottom line is, there's nothing I can do about it. I got to work with what I have, and I understand his frustration, but there's nothing I can do. There's nothing. I get it, just like the EDUs. I get it. But what do you want me to do? I can't manufacture something.
Okay, let's put this on hold. I'll check on the executive session and see if whether that makes sense or what Guy suggested. And get back to you, and
Up to you.
I'll hit you an email on it.
In the
for
meantime, we're going to get
update.
a list of what has been provided since the moratorium was set.
Right. He's already acknowledged that.
Just wanted to, before we finish the topic, I wanted to make sure that was one action item that came out of the discussion.
Right.
And can you do me a favor? When you get your notes, could you get them over to Christiana? Because when she does the discussion on tape, she doesn't know what to write, and she doesn't know how to synopsis it, but you have notes.
And all you say is, for this one, we had a discussion.
Okay,
And the only outcome was this doable.
I told her that, but she says you're not happy with that. You want this and that.
Never
Okay.
have I commented on
Okay,
the.
then because I just said, just put discuss moratorium, that's it.
That's
That's it.
fine.
Okay, as long as we're on the same page, I'll tell her
I don't think I've ever
that.
criticized the word she
All right,
put.
moving along, let's go.
No,
We
okay,
got the
good.
Swiss-
I appreciate that.
Swiss Beach meeting coming up.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I am, I really am. I truly am.
That's on Saturday.
Somebody is.
The 20th. There's a lot of great people in that neighborhood.
Yeah. But
Peter,
there's
I
gonna be a
put
lot of-
hoses,
There's gonna be a lot of
I get it,
difficult questions.
but I put hoses across their ways. The kids got to trip on hoses to go to the beach. I've been dealing with them. We've been doing it for years. I got kind of used to these folks, and they're kind of used to us, and,
We had the discussion at the plant
Yeah.
there a week ago Friday. I happened to take a ride down there. And who's down there?
I don't know,
But your guys,
pumping it out,
pumping through that,
pumping it out.
they were just rolling up the hole.
Oh, yeah, pumping it out. We do it routinely. And so we're there a lot, and sunny days, Sundays, absolutely, 6-inch hose. Sundays, Saturdays, we're there all the time. They see us. So I think everybody's aware of what's going on. A lot of people are happy about it, some people aren't, and we'll just deal with that.
Okay, Guy, who's showing up from our side of the fence?
We've invited E1
E1, okay.
is coming to the meeting.
Bob-
And let me be clear,
Bob Drake.
E1 is generic, right?
Bob
Because
Drake.
Bob Drake, engineer, will be there.
Okay. Russ be there?
Russ doesn't need to be there, he won't
Okay.
be there. You folks will be there.
Yeah.
We're posting it Monday, so you folks will be there. I may take the day off, I'm not so sure, but I'll be there. Anyone else you can think of?
Is there gonna be somebody there that can explain grinder pumps?
E1 will be there.
Who?
E1.
Bob Drake.
No, E1 will be there.
Oh, E1 also.
So E1 is a supplier. They're like, so I want to be clear, E1 is like, I say Reynolds wrap. When you ask for aluminum foil, we say Reynolds wrap, so you know what aluminum foil. But there's 100 manufactured aluminum foil. Same thing with E1. We're spec'ing E1 or equal. Bonds makes a pump like that. Liberty makes
Manufacturer of a
one type, yeah.
A
He'll be there.
manufacturer will be available.
He'll be there, he'll bring a cutout of what the pump looks like. He'll explain it, he'll bring some flyers, so they'll have a chance to ask any question they possibly can, and we'll do our very best
Yeah.
to
The
Will
last-
we- Will we have anybody there that will be able to address any issues that may come up on financing or costs for the homeowner?
No, it's Saturday, that'll be a town employee that'd have to volunteer their time. I don't know, I'll ask Jamie, see if she wants to pop in there, but I can't commit her time.
What, will we have any ballpark guesstimates for a homeowner if they were to ask what it's gonna cost them to hook up?
No, because they'd have to get a quote. I'm not gonna ballpark it,
Okay.
because whatever you say for a number, they're gonna hold you to it.
I know it.
And I'm not gonna
I-
give them a
I
number.
realize that,
I
but
can't
it's-
give them
yeah.
a number. I
No.
cannot. I will not.
Makes sense,
Mr. Chair,
unfortunately.
at the last meeting, we said we would get together a list of what is covered, what is not covered, and I was wondering if that list has been completed, so we can review it. We won't have a chance to review it prior to August 20th, will we?
A list of, what do you mean by covered and uncovered?
What will each homeowner have to cover for a cost? What will the town cover?
I can't they have to cover the connection.
Okay, then you say you have to, each structure will be, let's see, the homeowner would be responsible for the electrical upgrade if needed. The homeowner would be responsible for digging a ditch to the grinder. The homeowner would be responsible for the electrical connection. I got no cost to it.
Yeah, I can't give you a cost.
I want a list of what is required of the homeowner in order to connect.
You just read it.
Do we have it in paper to give to them? No. But what will the sewer be responsible for? We would be responsible for the grinder pump and the installation and the maintenance. I want a piece of paper that we can give to a homeowner there saying, this is your side and this is our side.
I don't have one, and I don't know if I'll have one by the meeting. I will verbally, and then we can go from there, because we haven't even decided what we're going to do as far as maintenance goes. We'll talk about that.
We talked about this
didn't.
in the prior, in our.
We did, but we have no specifics.
What's the electrical requirement?
I'm not sure. I was gonna say 110, but I don't think it's 220. It may be 220. I thought it was 110. I don't know. See, the thing is, when the company, the manufacturer's representative explains this, we'll know. I don't want to commit.
Well, that's,
But it's in the specs. Let me look at the specs, because we have specs. Specs are
I
out there.
thought they were 220.
It could be. I'm not
I thought they
gonna,
were 30 amp.
you're probably closer than I am.
That may be what they use in Marion, and that may not be what we're
I
talking
don't
about.
know. Yes, I don't know. I'll find out.
Well,
So you want to know amps?
Well, that's
and
going to have
volts.
a direct bearing on the cost of the electrical.
I get all that, but I can't give them any numbers, and I won't give any numbers. I cannot give you numbers. I won't give numbers. If you want to take a stab at it, feel
Guy,
free.
who is the manufacturer that's showing up on Saturday?
E1,
Who?
Mike Sparks.
Okay, can we give him a call tomorrow and find out what the electrical,
Yeah, I can. It's in the specs.
Requirements
I'll look
are.
at the specs. It's in the specs. It's
Okay.
online. I'll look it up.
All right.
I'll give you the specs, but I can't give you, I will not give cost. E1 is showing up, yes. E-1, O-N-E.
You know I can just look that up and get their website?
Absolutely. They're nationwide, if not worldwide.
The size of the grinder pump we're putting in?
I think it's a half a horse, but I don't quote
What,
me.
what's the gallons? How big a tank are we
Capacity,
putting?
they're about, I want to say 60 gallons, I don't know, because I heard 55 to 80, but I don't know. They're standard. Everybody says they're supposed to be a lot bigger than that, I don't buy it, but because it's efficient, effective, let's say the tank is this tall and it can be 180 gallons or 100, whatever, but we just go by with the pump cycles, and that could be only 60 gallons.
What time is the meeting?
10 o'clock, Saturday the 20th.
We are well prepared for it.
Yeah, we are, and I think we'll be more prepared once we get the questions, and we can answer specific questions instead of guessing. Then I can give specific answers to specific questions and satisfy
Yeah, but
everybody
we've
one
already
time.
told them we'll give them specific answers.
Well, the manufacturer will answer all their questions specifically at that meeting. That's why he's coming.
He'll be able to tell them they're going in, but it'll only be then that we can start figuring out what it's gonna cost for the electrician, because we don't know in advance.
I don't know. And they won't know until they get a quote from an electrician.
they're gonna have their own electrician, so each
quote.
one's gonna
But
vary.
still,
Who-
they're gonna wanna know
They're
how
gonna,
much amperage we're gonna be looking for.
I get it. When we did the last set of grinding pumps, yeah, the same thing, it's gonna cost me. I don't know. Call your contractor, he'll give you a price. That's it. I can't give you an answer.
We have a lot of I don't knows, we're gonna have a lot of unhappy
No, I
days.
think the answer is, it's not, I don't know, it's that you'll have to quote it out. We'll give you a list of all the certified installers that have been certified to install these. You call every one of them, they'll give you a quote, and you pick the best one that meets your needs, and you're done. I'm not going to give a dollar.
And you'll have the specs,
$2.
we'll have the specs on the pumps that we're gonna give anyhow, so they can get those to give to their electrician to give,
Absolutely,
spec out it. So that's not,
absolutely. I don't want to,
you know, it is what it is on that score.
because no matter what you say, again, my experience, when you say something, it's gospel, and that's it, and I'm not going there. If you change your mind, oh, well, you said, no, he said, I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
So E1 will tell us
Frost, will you?
the model
No, I
number.
won't.
Guy, they will have the model number and the specs for their E1 grinder at this meeting.
Yes, they'll have
So
everything.
you've already arranged as to contract as to what the model is.
That's right.
So we have a contract.
We don't have a contract, we have specs, specifications. Nobody's got a contract yet, because the bids, they're going to do that with the bids. And whoever wins the bid is going to go find the pumps, whether they use E1 or bonds, I can't say. We're just going to have E1 present the general concept of what this is. The contractor makes that final decision, and the engineer will approve his decision. So you win the bid, and you want to use bonds, that's your right.
What am I bidding on?
The specs,
Grinder.
the
What are the
specifications.
specs that you're gonna put out
Yes.
in our grinder?
We have them, they're about this thick. I'll bring them if you want them, they're that thick. And all the bidders are reading them now. And we had a meeting yesterday to go through.
That spec will tell me if I'm a 70-gallon or a 60-gallon, or am I a 30-watt,
Absolutely.
200-watt?
It'll tell you the,
We don't have-
absolutely, tell you the size of
We
everything.
haven't seen those specs.
You can, they're online, to go on the town website and see them, but I promise you, they're that thick.
If I go on the town line.
Town
under
website.
Sewer,
Go under bids, you pop up bids, it'll say RFP for sewer, Swiss Beach,
I'm
and
sorry.
specifications.
I'd like to think I'm a little bit, I would never have known to look under bids.
It's been there forever. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Deadline for delivering, for submitting bids?
The bids have to be submitted and opened the 18th of this month.
Before our meeting with Swiss Beach.
That's correct. 18th, the bids will be, we'll have the bids in, and we'll know what the bids
So
are.
when will you select?
Probably, because it'll probably be a week after that, because we have to vet everything, make sure they got the proper this, proper that, proper that. We'll be able to give you
On
the
20th,
bid
we
numbers, but that's
still
it.
don't- On the 20th, we will still not know the type of grinder pump that won the bid.
That's not true. We'll know what won, I just don't know who the final bidder would. You already know, because we specified it. They have to use what's in there. Just go online, it's already there. If you want to print it out, I will. It's this thick.
Oh, I am just surprised that I have never seen a document saying what,
Can I make a suggestion? Do you think maybe we should put back the meeting until you have the contractor and have the contractor present?
What?
No, why?
Why
Why?
not? Then you can get all the answers.
then
I
you'll
see
be
no-
outside of summer.
I see no reason to have the contractor there. No reason. Why should he be there?
Because he can answer all of these questions.
He can't until he gets going. Before he can answer the questions, I got to get through contracts, all this, proceed, and then he can begin. Then he'll set up a schedule, then I can answer all the questions at that time. I don't have the answers now. We normally have them at the meeting. If you want to delay till after the contract, till, maybe after people have left, that's fine. But I think you're missing the point. This is an informational meeting. We'll tell them what we know. They'll have questions. We'll grade the
It's an
questions.
informational meeting.
That's
But
right.
you've got no
We have
information.
a lot of information. We have a lot of information.
This is an informational meeting which will work both ways. We'll have a certain amount of
Absolutely.
information to provide from them. They will have a certain number of questions that we cannot answer at this point, that we can get answers for them and respond back.
It's an exchange.
That's all this is. This is
Exchange.
not going to be a
Nothing's
hard,
absolute at this
firm,
stage.
fast,
Nothing.
end of story type of thing.
Absolutely right. That's what we're doing. We're going to engage with each other, figure things out, and we're going to move forward. And we'll give them everything we have. He's going to talk about what the pumps are,
Okay,
how they work,
okay,
what to
okay.
do, what not to do. Yes.
Yeah.
How many of us are
Is,
going to be there?
I'm going to be there.
Beta must have a boilerplate
Yeah.
detail showing the tank, the pump, the connections.
He's bringing that,
Is that a handout?
yeah, no, he's bringing an actual cut in half unit. And they can see it, they can touch it, they can see the pump, they can see the tank, they're going to see it all. He's going to set up a model.
But I mean,
And then we can give them, he's going to give them flyers to explain everything they're seeing.
right, and then they should go away knowing what they're gonna own.
Absolutely. That's why they're coming.
Graphically, they'll be able to see it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Then they can
That's
take,
fine.
they can take the flyer home and read it, develop all the questions they want to develop. They can come and ask us, we'll continue to explain to them. Yes, they're going to feel it, touch it, see it, understand it, absolutely.
That answers my question. They're
Yep,
getting more information than I thought they were.
No, that's why I said,
thought they were
anyone will be there, he's going to bring a model.
That's fine.
We said that in the very, I said that in the beginning.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, everybody's going to be there on the 20th?
I'm not,
You're not.
What time is it?
10 o'clock?
And you're going to miss this.
Try to be there.
Okay.
do you need
I will be
a
there.
post an agenda then?
Monday. We're posting it Monday morning. Monday, we're posting an agenda for Saturday.
Just post it, you know.
And we're going to post it
Either,
for,
we'll either have
as a
a
meeting.
quorum or we won't.
so you're all welcome to come.
But-
That's what we thought we'd do. Everybody will be
Safer to
there.
post it that way. Some of our cutie pies won't get all bent out of shape. Okay, Narrows bidding, has that gone out, or what's the, oh, that's come back?
Come back, it's over bid. Bid's coming at 5.9, and we've only allocated 3 million.
What's happened with it since then, anything?
Nothing. I met with Mr. Sullivan and a contract in regards to a bidding process. I forget the name of the concept. It's like Sourcewell, it's like Combuy, it's like state bids, and we're working through that, and I don't know where we are with that yet. We've looked at the program. Now we're going to read the contract for specifics of what can and cannot be done. And if this is working, then we won't go back out to bid. We'll just be able to go to this individual company and get it done. So that's where we are right now.
Okay. When will we have a resolution on that?
I'm hoping within a week or two. I was hoping to have it now, but we don't have it yet.
Whose hands are it in right now?
It's in both our hands, Derek's and myself.
Okay. All right. Grinder pump policies.
So there's tons of I don't, so first of all, let's do this. So this is a draft, an idea, concept of what we're looking for the service call. I'll be back to you, Bob. Okay, so, we don't know, this is...
Isn't this in our packet?
Yeah, oh, you got one? I don't, do you have one? I don't know if you have this particular. If you did, then I apologize. Did you?
Oh, 28 and it's marked as a draft here, you can have mine back.
Take yours back. You have it in your packet, that's it. But anyways, that's something to discuss, you can take it home, and read it, scratch it, think about it, and we can decide on, we have plenty of time to figure this out. But all I'm saying is that there'll be service calls, and if somebody does something that isn't acceptable, they'll pay a service fee. If it's on the pump, on us, we'll pay for it. They have to worry about nothing, because we're gonna service it. So that's all I'm saying. If they have a sump pump tied in, sump pump keeps alarming, I'll go take off the, silence the alarm, they'll pay a service call, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's what this is in reference to. And we also have a list of all non-flushables, and Mike will talk about that at the meeting, of what you cannot flush in these systems, because you can't just arbitrarily flush anything. And if I have to go there and keep deragging your pump, you will pay a service call for that, because you have to be held accountable. Right now, when nobody's accountable for what they flush, we have to be, they will be, because it's their pump. And it only take them out.
This is for sump pumps.
It's for everything. It goes on, if you read it, go down, service calls related to non-flushable items, deragging pump as well, da-da-da-da-da. So it's all
Now, this
encompassing.
is what we discussed.
Yes, it's all encompassing, so you can fast through it, do whatever you want to do.
The grinder pump?
Yes, this is for service. Okay.
Didn't we talk about the service call for the grinder pump, because we're not servicing the sump pump? I guess I'm confused.
Why we have to,
The first statement is,
It's
get your
just
sump
general.
pump out
Sump
of there.
pump, get your sump pump out.
Yeah.
We say that all the time.
That's our
Get
policy.
your sump pump out. They're illegal. You're not allowed. Get them out. And that's what it says. Get them out.
not, exactly. No reason to discuss that.
Get them out.
They don't belong. End of story.
So I think we just put that in there so they'll know.
Service calls related to non-flushables deragging the pump. The sump pump or the grinder pump?
Right, the grinder pump.
Okay, because I would like to specifically use the word grinder in every time you refer to a pump, so there's absolutely no question what the service call
Well,
is
the
for.
sentence before it says grinder pump, but yes, clarify it. On your list of things, clarify it, and we'll type it up the way you want. Because it says grinder pumps or the sanitary sewer system, service charges related to non-flushable items, and we're going to list the non-flushable items. So you can make it
I want to say
grammatically,
grinder wherever possible.
that's fine.
So there's no
you
question.
make it grammatically correct any way you want, and we'll put it out. I have no problem with that. I agree. This is just an idea. We just threw this together for some concepts, things we talked about, and you can culture it. Each one of you can put whatever you want in it, and then we can sit and discuss how the final document's
Yeah,
going
it
to
doesn't seem like we have to be overkill with this. This pretty well explains it. It covers it up. Sandy has got a good point in re-emphasizing the fact that it's grinder rather than potentially anything else. And it's already covered in the first sentence that sump pumps,
From the home, they have to be removed from the system.
Yes.
that's what it says.
No, it doesn't.
No, it says remove from the home.
Yeah, you can change that, yes.
Yeah.
I think she
Oh,
did, she
I'm
put
sorry,
home
that's the second line. I was reading the first
in
line.
the system. Yes, you're right. Make that correction. It was a test to see if you read it.
System,
You passed.
change home to system. Right.
So just do what you want with it, and we'll put it out. I'm not, I think at the meeting, we're going to say that there'll be some responsibilities. I didn't really think this had to be ready. We can generally tell about, this is what's going to happen if we have to serve for non-flushables or whatever, but that's why I think we have time to work on this, so that's why
Well, and I would, no, maybe I was gonna say for Saturday, no, never mind.
because what we put out
Erase
to the
that.
homeowners, I want it to be
Erase that.
exact. I don't want to say this is a draft to them.
So we can have this list for the 20th?
You can. I'm going to bring it to 20th.
Okay.
Which, the non-flushables?
The non
Yes, absolutely. We're going to talk about
That's, yeah,
non-flushables.
we'll definitely have to do that. They need that.
Yeah, I'm bringing, I gave you an idea of what I'm going to talk about at the meeting. I gave you a whole list of things.
Yep.
Okay, they're there. And so I'm thinking every one of those things will probably come up. We'll discuss them. Here's non-flushables.
Yep.
Here's what I mean by this, here, because they're going to come up. And I'll just deal with them, address them as they come up. We talk about sump pumps. I gave them some ideas what sump pumps are. And handle it, that's up to them. I also, Sandy, talked about the exemption. Sump pumps can go into the drainage system or into the stormwater system. So I gave you the exemption from the bylaws that conservation and planning at DPW and sewer wrote up, the bylaws. So, but there's an exemption for sump
So
pumps.
how do they get their sump pump into the stormwater
I haven't got that
drain?
far yet, but that can go there. That's phase. Remember we talked about not abandoning the sewer system and tying in the sump pumps to that? That's another phase. That's all that is. It could be a future thing we'll talk about in the long term. I'm not ready to do it today or this particular project, but there is an exemption, so we do have that option. That's all I'm saying.
And that's documented in here?
Yes, there's an exemption. It's in the bylaws, but I took that one page that talks about the exemption. It should be in there. It is, it's in there. I'll get you mine. I'll see if I can find it.
I thought it was a state no-no.
No, it's not a state no-no. The state, I told you there's grant money to study it and do it. The only no-no would be the town's no-no in the bylaws. State encourages it. And it has to be applicable to MS4. We gotta be conscientious of that.
Okay.
So,
Okay, that's gonna be, you're gonna bring that.
so, where is it? Me too. I want to find it before you do.
It's in the wetland bylaws to allow it.
It is. I'm telling you. I can do you one better.
Grinder pump research.
I can do you one better.
Pumps, grinder pumps.
What are you looking for, where?
There should be,
He says something in here from the bylaws that says it is, we can discharge water into a stormwater. I thought, it's not, I thought it was in this packet.
Legally, I don't believe you can.
They're obviously not football fans.
No, obviously not. Was it Giants tonight?
Yeah. Half an hour.
Okay, we'll have to get moving along here then. Okay, let's pick up the pace.
I already missed middle ball. They were winning.
I know. Were they?
They were.
They
Oh, they did?
10 to 1 or something.
Ah, cool, thank you.
They
It was
must have
4-0
called,
last time moved.
Yeah, they're going
Excellent.
to Williamsport.
Good.
All right,
I'm
must have
psyched.
called the game then at 10.
okay. Okay,
Well, congratulations, Middleborough.
Yes, absolutely.
yep, most definitely. All right, the grind upon policies, what we have here with a little bit of tweaking, I think is adequate, unless anybody's got some, we'll vote on it officially at the next meeting, but, and get an updated, revised, if anybody's got any other revisions that they think they need, we'll let Guy know and they can incorporate them in it.
Do you think it's necessary to have it for the 20th? Or,
No.
I mean, okay.
No, not at all. Not for the 20th. I wouldn't. I think
they're
we're
still-
throwing too much stuff at them on the 20th. I'd like to, right at this point,
So far, all we're telling them is I don't know.
no, you're not. You're telling them what they can
We're
do,
not,
or
we're
some of
telling,
the
we're
things they
telling
have
more
to
than
do,
you
or
think.
what they
We're telling
can't
them quite a
do.
bit.
We're telling them we don't know about the price. I don't know about the price. How much is it gonna,
That's the first question they're going to ask.
but they're gonna have to have it done themselves anyhow, because we're not part of that equation, unfortunately. We can't, and we're not allowed to help them on that score as far as giving them an
Sandy, here it is.
electrician or
Sandy,
something.
like to see
I
it?
got it.
Okay.
I got it. She even highlighted it in yellow.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Okay, we've got a,
Sorry.
moving forward, where is that sheet? I've got a sheet here someplace for the first half of,
I'm sorry?
first half of fiscal '23.
Yes.
Where is that number? Okay. That particular sheet's eluding me at the moment, unfortunately.
Near the bottom.
It should be the very end or close to it.
Yeah, I know, well, I managed to screw that up. It's not there, it's not there.
I make a motion, we approve the FY '23 first half sewer usage commitment of $3,108,422.37.
Where are you finding this?
It's at the bottom. Should be next to the bottom. The bottom of what? The pile of paper we
yes.
got in our packet.
Very last page, very last piece of paper in your packet, or at least it was.
Bottom of our packet.
I did find it, right here. All right, I have a motion on that. Do I have a second? I can't find his either. Yeah, you got it, there it is.
can't find it. Second?
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
400. Guy, your report, please.
Very brief, Mr. Chairman, we got a lot to do. We've completed the study with Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute on the wood chip project. I have the final documentation on their findings. Wood chips can get nitrogen down to 0. It's been a 3-year project, and they're in conjunction with their counterparts at Stanford University on the West Coast. So it's really exciting.
Can I ask a question in
Sure.
there on that? Wood chips, does that require a specific type?
Nope, just new,
Just new, okay.
just new. And with
Any tree, any,
any tree, we use the wood, I have tons of wood chips on site,
Yep.
and that's what we used. Because what they did is they,
Jimmy who falls a lot.
oh, man, don't even go there. It's been not the greatest.
I'm looking to see if I have a picture of it, that's of the unit we built out in the back of, by the UV.
Oh, man, you're welcome.
So I'll pass the picture around. This is what it looks like. This is at the UV station, and that's the unit. And inside, there's these tubes full of wood chips.
Jesus Christ. Now, would this all work off electricity or something?
We have pumps and we move water, so we take water, put it in. It's still there. We're gonna leave it. So if you wanna go by and see.
I
it,
do
you
want
can.
to see it. Whereabouts is it?
It's at the UV.
Okay, where's
End
it?
of the plant. So in the filter blow building, the very end,
Yeah,
there's some steps that go down and you see the water flowing and all these yellow lights, the UV disinfection. Right there, the system's there. I'll take that.
oh, yeah, great. I'd like to see that, yeah.
If anyone else wants to see it, that's what it is. Bob, I don't know if you can get this, so. I don't think it matters. I don't think, can you get that? I don't think you can. I'm sorry? Oh, thanks. You trust and I don't? Me?
Eggshells. You have to, eggshells only get fed to chickens. You feed the eggshells to chickens.
Eggshells will go down my garbage disposal.
Shit, anything.
Thank you, Bob.
Suppose if you wait long enough.
So the project's complete. I have a report.
Compost.
If anybody wants a copy, let me know, but this is the full report. What we're doing now, we talked to the estuaries, Dr. Coster, and we're looking to do a project or model, a larger scale. We have our bed on the side of our plant. We have 5-acre old landfill that's capped, and we have the ability to recover the water, bring it back into the plant. We're going to section it off and do a large model scale to verify this works. And if we can get nitrogen down to 0, it's just a game changer. So we're going to do the next phase. It's a 3-year process. We'll do another couple years, and if we can make it on a large scale, it'll answer a lot of questions about nitrogen removal. They make septic systems with wood chips. It's just because they're IA, there's some difficulties, but the concept is there and real. So we want to apply it to wastewater.
Okay, if we could get nitrogen down to 0 or 1, would that give us any latitude to be able to pump more into the Agawam?
Absolutely, because it's all based on pounds per day. So if you take away the concentration, you're increasing your flow. Absolutely. We just got to be cautious of the other parameters of the permit, the copper, BOD, all that. But we think we're already well within those numbers, so we don't see it being an
Will
issue.
that particular process take out anything other than nitrogen?
We're working on PFAS right now to see if we can get PFAS for this. And if we go after PFAS is grant money, no repay. On this infrastructure bill, anything to do with PFAS is free money, and I hate to say it that way, nothing free because taxpayers' money, but the bottom line is that to us, individuals in the town of Wareham, it's grant money, not to be paid back. So
No cost to us.
Yeah, so we're trying to figure that out, if we can work PFAS into it, we'd like to, and then apply for those grants. So we're working that, so we're pretty excited about that. We're back on schedule at the plant. Pots, we have a lot there. Filter's almost done. We're getting ready to tie in the clear well and the mud well, which is pretty important. Most of the electronics are starting to show up, which has been a big problem. We're still waiting for some pumps that are made in America. They haven't arrived yet. We're thinking maybe October, but everything else is starting to come in. We're pretty excited about that. It's been a long haul on the supply chain. Some things have just been impossible to get, so things are looking up. We're moving forward, so we're pretty excited about that.
I know I asked this before and I forgot the answer. SCADA system,
It's up and running.
it's up and running, okay.
Yeah, we
Main thing.
did it was $200,000 upgrade, that's done.
All right.
So that's working. And everything else is pretty straightforward. The application for the IUPs go in tomorrow. So we're finalizing today. I talked to the DEP about the process. The project in Swiss Beach is going to be a Tier 5, which is the highest tier. We're saying that there's exfiltration to protect the bay and nitrogen removal. We're also stating that there's a public safety issue because of the old forced mains. We already had a break there. And we're also going to eliminate 2 pump stations, which takes away that risk of a coastal storm because they'll no longer be there. So looking at the criteria for DEP, we believe it's going to be a Tier 5, which is the highest tier they have. We're pretty excited about that, so we're submitting that tomorrow. The plant upgrade will be a Tier 4, which is 1 tier below it. It's still high on the list. There's 5 tiers. But the Tier 5 is the absolute best, and so that'll all happen tomorrow. Woods Hole, Dr. Foreman's worked with us for the scientific data to verify there's exfiltration, because it's an arbitrary thing now. I mean, people believe the pipe's covered with water, you can't have exfiltration, but there's other factors, tidal influence, et cetera, droughts, water table, all that, and he's writing a scientific document so we can submit it to DEP to substantiate our claim of exfiltration, which, if we can eliminate exfiltration, then we're cleaning the bay up, removing nitrogen from the total max daily load. So we're doing that also. So we're pretty excited about that. So moving forward, we're trying to get some things done and try to present our case in the best possible light and validating the reasons why we're spending the money, not just to spend it. It's pretty critical and important. And it all ties in to some of the future things we're going to be doing. So that's working. We're excited about that. I lost my truck driver, my only truck driver. He went and got another job, making more money, and I'm bummed about that. I just wish we could pay more, but I'm bummed about that. It's live and learn, and I guess it's just living.
Can I ask what the differential was?
$5 an hour. So it's life, and, you know, I try to retain, and we can hire all day long. I shouldn't say hire all day. We can hire, not the numbers we need, but retention is our issue. We're like a revolving door, and you know, the cost of retraining and training and training and training is astronomical.
Have we been able to hire anybody with licenses?
Only one, a grade 3.
So everything else we have to train from square one.
Square one. And licenses, because we're a grade 6 plant, so we got to retrain them, even 3, and get them their 5s, and that's a cost. And once we get them there and spend the money, they leave. It cost me $5,000 to get a CDL. It costs a couple thousand to get a hydraulic license. It cost me about $6,000, $7,000 to get their grade 5. And once we get them for them, they take off to greener pastures. And I cannot do it, but we're doing a good job of training for other communities. So that's just, it's disheartening, but it is what it is.
Can we apply for some of the school funds?
I don't know. I wish I could get some money for
Training?
this. Yeah, I'd like to get some training funds. It's just, it's insane, but nonetheless, we're working with it. That's pretty much it. The waterproof doors are in for Narrows and Heinz Field, the floodproof doors, they're in. They, like bulkheads, they lock in. It's kind of interesting. They're there if you want to go see them at any time. So that deals with the floods, the high flood, new slosh lines, and I give you all the acronyms. It's kind of crazy, but they're predicting 23 feet if we get the storm of the Category 3-4 gut of Cape Cod down the arm. It would be devastating. So we got the floodproof doors up. So that was just done last week. So yeah, we're moving forward on a lot of things, and we got a lot of issues. But anyways, we're picking them off one at a time. I can't think of anything else, but that's it. I mean, there's so much going on. There's so much going on, but that's
I know.
the gist of it.
Okay, unfinished business, I think.
Sorry, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I haven't heard anything about a fall town meeting $6 million article for engineering. When are we
I
going
haven't
to?
heard it.
When are we going to get that if we have to get, I believe articles are due, what, second week of September? We only have really one meeting before those are due.
I'll have Sarah email them to you tomorrow, and then you can play with them to be ready for the next meeting. She has prepared them. We just are waiting for the next meeting, but
So the articles are completed and approved by Mr. Foster and everybody else?
she's written them to what they know, then we got to matriculate them around.
I think it should go to all of us so we can be prepared for the next meeting, because
Yeah, that's what I'll give it to you folks. And you know more about it than I, you can tell us what to do with it.
so we'll get a draft in the next couple days.
I'm going to email her right now.
So we need to make sure that goes on the agenda. Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't want that to get
Yeah,
overlooked.
good point.
So you get wound up doing this stuff, you forget about those little things. Okay, unfinished business still. I believe we have a young gentleman sitting in the audience that has some unfinished business. Yeah, would you? Okay, would you introduce yourself?
Yep, Fred Mannix, 3065 Cranberry Highway, Wareham, Mass. That's a field office that we have established. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, it's a phrase that's often used. I think it applies in this situation. Thank you for your service. I think you guys have a lot of stuff ahead of you. As far as what my update here, a guy had asked me a letter wondering if I was going to start, and we have begun. We put in the construction entrance. We're just about finished with that and on the project and at Sandwich Road. We decided to, we're going to put a job trailer, an office trailer on the property. We need a permit for that, which I believe is going to be issued tomorrow. There was some steps to take. It's like a shed permit. We're going to be in the process, once that's done, is get a permit to bring in some temporary power. And we've decided to tear down the house on the site right away. We're going to wait, but I think looking at the condition of the house, it's in tough shape. So we're going to tear that down. We have to wait for, I believe, some approval from the Historical Society because it's an old building. I don't think there's going to be any issue, but we have to have those steps. And then that's about it. I think that we're going to start the project. I asked, my engineer hasn't contacted Guy yet. We were just talking about that before the meeting. We're committed to upgrading the town pump if it has to be, and we're going to do a feasibility study on that. That's underway. And the biggest thing is going to be, the only thing that's going to hold the project up at all from beginning, basically, is the curb cuts that I have to get from Mass Department of Transportation. So that process has started with J.C. Engineering. They're submitting the drawings and going through the process, and we need those permits. I can't do any construction permits unless I have, the curb cuts, and we have to have approval from the state that the locations are correct and everything is correct. I don't think there's any issue that we've done it according to DOT, Mass DOT, but they need that application to look at it. I think, hopefully, that, any questions that you have, I can answer. I brought a local contractor with me that's been doing the work, in case there's any questions on
You
the...
didn't bring anybody qualified?
I didn't, well, that's the best I could do.
Do what you have to. I can understand that.
And I'm not going to tell you who's doing the excavating with the machine, but he knows. So the thing is, we've made a start, and we intend to go forward with it. We do have to have other things to do, but we are starting the project. And I didn't mention it the last time. We've been down in Cranberry Highway for about 4 months now. So when we're talking about not making moves to start the project, some of it was not visible. But we were definitely committed to doing something, and hopefully we can get started sooner than later. I don't know what the process will be.
All right, anybody have any questions for this young man?
Thank you.
This is the extended living site
Yes,
at what, 238 Sandwich Road?
238 and 240 Sandwich Road are going to be combined to become it's a intermediate care center.
And you'll be establishing a sewer line from that facility down toward the
So
force?
I'm not sure, there's a manhole, it's all
There's a
designed with...
manhole on Route 6?
No, I'm sorry. Where?
So you'll be connecting to the manhole on Sunset?
Linwood Drive,
Sorry,
Linwood,
Drive or
that's it.
Sunset?
Linwood.
Linwood.
It's in Linwood. It's on Linwood Drive. Then it goes from Linwood to the pump
So
station.
you'll have to go
on Linwood.
across Route 6 to make that connection?
Yes.
Okay.
And the Linwood Drive is then gravity from that manhole down to the system. We have it all designed, but obviously that has to be approved and done, but yes. Yeah, we go under the, you know, it's sent across, we don't dig it up. But again, we have to get permits from the state, but the most important permits are the curb cuts, to make sure that the location is fine and they approve it. We were talking about that earlier. We have 4 driveways now on the property, between the 2 properties. We're gonna cut it down to 2 driveways. They're wider, but, you know, I think we're gonna be okay, but I can't tell you how quick that's gonna be. The state takes a while.
Guy, do you have anything to throw in on here?
Yeah, it's pretty much, that's where we are. Yeah, nothing to throw in.
This is a particular thing that's already been approved previously.
So that's 10,140 gallons per day?
I don't know the figure, but whatever the, we have a letter, that whatever it says on that letter, I don't have it in front of me.
We've
but it-
defined it as assisted living on this list of capacity?
That's correct, 10,140 gallons per day.
And again, I don't think, I'm not sure, I don't know, when you guys, it's not something we're gonna build tomorrow, so it's not,
I know that.
you know,
Okay.
but, I don't know.
But you're working on it, you're
We're
making,
working on it, yeah, we have,
going forward, so, you know, based on our policy, as long as you're showing intent in doing something positive and
Yeah.
working on it, then I don't think we would do anything about it. Any objections anywhere?
No, that's all we ask.
So that's
thank you.
pretty much what we're looking for.
I will stay in touch with Guy and for anything,
Okay.
for the sewer department.
Well, you know, if you're lucky, you can find a good contractor.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens.
You can't do that way. You know, it's, tearing down the house is a problem, and it takes a while to get through the process.
Yeah,
Because not only do we have historical to worry about, we have, you gotta get letters from Eversource, from everybody.
Were you ever a Boy Scout?
What?
I was.
Did you learn how to rub 2 sticks together?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you, I don't want that to be up in Halloween.
Oh, God, no.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Am I all set with me? Any questions?
All set. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right.
Sorry it took so long, but,
Thank you.
I have a question.
yes, ma'am.
Because it's been so dry, we certainly haven't had any influence of water coming in from sump pumps, correct?
Not a whole lot, no.
Do we have any idea what flow we've been facing under a drought condition?
I can tell you, we do a monthly report. The 15th, we'll do a monthly report. I'll tell you what the last month was.
That should give us a baseline of what it is without sump pumps.
That would be, if we could get that sometime, Guy, that would be a
I
that would
can,
be
but let me
interesting.
just be clear. The sump pumps that are along the water are still, when you got a water table at 4 feet, and let's say it goes down to 6, you still have tidal influence, so it's not gonna give you a total picture,
I
but
know,
give you
but
somewhat of a picture.
Better than saying, okay, this is our usage without rain affecting our level of water, and it would be great if we could have
Yep.
some type of bench line that says, hey, then we know when it rains for a long time, the increment is coming from
Right.
water.
We just know
rainwater.
because the
I-
basins staying empty, so we're excited about that. Which is 1 million gallons,
Yeah,
or half a
exactly.
million gallons.
So
But
I
yeah, we're
think,
excited.
It'd be worthwhile to have that as a springboard. So it would be a better qualification, particularly now, we're in a situation where it would be a far better qualification for us on, you know, how much, you know, an inch of rain equals how much influx to us. The INI is out there, some places it will be taken care of as a result of the lining and as a result of E1 once that gets in Swiss Beach, but we still have a lot of areas where we'll still be getting INI from. And
How do we measure what we take in?
Flow meter, when it comes into the plant.
Excuse me?
A flow meter.
Formula?
a flow,
Flow meter, it's a partial flume.
Do you have one on the outfall too?
Yes,
So you know exactly how much we're dumping?
yes. Yeah.
When are we gonna get that for the feed from the place in Bourne?
Bourne, Narrows, Cohasset Narrows,
Well,
Hideaway
what's that,
Village,
what's that group of villages that are up?
Hideaway
Hideaway
Village.
Village.
We don't have that flow yet, do we? Okay. That was it. I had nothing else.
Okay, anything else, anybody? Mac?
Not tonight.
All right. Sandy, could you fill in?
Yes, I make a motion, we adjourn the meeting at 7:54.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Peter, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.